back correctly. My name is Darth Ted, and I'm joined here by the one, the only, the crack variety. How's it going?
It's going, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and we're the 10 o'clock game. We're here. We're ready for it. Everyone's hyped to get the night over with, and the playoff implications are up and running, and we have one last standing to take place. It is the infamous Scuttle Crabs versus the Infernal Drake, and it is going to be a banger. What do you think
Yeah.
we're going to see in this matchup?
I mean, truthfully, I think it could. It's probably going to be a little slower. Unless the one thing that I can see and what I'm really going to be looking at is the top lane. If something gets snowballing in there, then these games could be really snowbally. But I'm looking forward to a big 40-minute grind fest that's determined by one big team fight.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be the case, and we can send it over to the player photos right now so y'all can see the beautiful faces of who we're looking at, or at least most of them. We have Infernal, Kazuto in the top lane, Zabel in jungle, Blueprint in the mid lane, Fat Super Dude at 80 carry, and Kanabi as support. And for Scuttle Crab, you know them, you love them, they all have the hats. Iandowell in the top lane, Adolma in the jungle, Silky Bandit in the mid lane, Zeem as 80 carry, and 420 Blaze It Nerd 69 as his support. What matchup are you looking towards the most in this one?
I already kind of said it, but it's definitely got to be top lane. And a partial one would be the jungle as well. But I anticipate both junglers kind of spending a lot of their time in the top side of the map. And yeah, I mean, we've seen what Endo can do on a really good day, and we've seen kind of the flip side of it occasionally. So what my guess is that Sable's going to see that and try to attack it, but I could be wrong. Maybe he'll focus mid.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. So we've seen Blueprint kind of bouncing back and forth between top and mid lane, and I think it's interesting that they're putting him mid lane versus Silky Bandit instead of top lane versus Endo. I was actually really looking forward to the Blueprint versus Endo matchup because they both play very aggressive top lane champions.
Yeah, and I think for that exact reason, it kind of makes sense to do the switch, especially looking at Silky's going to probably be playing more for the team a little bit, and we've seen Blueprint really pop off on things like Lux and other generic-y control mages that can, match that roamy to supporty style, but do a little more damage than, say, like a Galio.
That's fair. And the one matchup we haven't talked about is the bot lane. Zeem and 420 Blaze Nerd have looked absolutely just crazy this season compared to last season. And we know Zeem is such a strong AD carry. He's been D5 for a while. And, I mean, in order to maintain that as an ADC, you have to put in a lot of time and effort. But it seems like 420 Blaze Nerd and him have been absolutely clicking this season, and they're destroying down there. How do you think Fat Super Duper and Kanabi are going to do against them?
I'm guessing it's going to be a little more passive. They're probably going to get pushed in a bunch. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that they have a tendency to outright feed if the matchup's not bad for them, or it's not good for them rather. So, I think a pretty safe style. They'll probably pick some kind of scaling safer AD carry to try to just get to the late game and hope that the other sides of the map can pull their weight and really swing things.
All right, sounds good. And I mean, I'm just excited for this one. Both teams kind of feel the same to me, like you were saying before. The scale up to 6, wait for those first initial team fights before snowballing leads. And I want to see if Zabel goes for his more aggressive kind of approach and tries to a lot of early invades on the Domo champ pool, like the fiddlesticks and whatnot. And if he can punish those scaling picks, or if he goes for a more late game team fighter himself.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on that. I really want to see him pick something really aggressive, and really give him priority as in picks, because we have seen that Adolma really leans towards things that take a little bit to ramp up, Fiddle, Hecarim, so maybe like a Rek'Sai, or, I mean, maybe even like a Kayn. I know it's not exactly like early game kind of bully-ish, but it will reward him for going in and starting something.
All right. And we get a Caitlyn ban against Zeem right off the bat, not letting him get that lane bully. And a Rek'Sai ban quickly followed up for the side of Scuttle Crab, taking away that early jungle pick you were just talking about.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Same with Infernal's bans. If you're anticipating kind of being the weaker side or the weaker matchup in the bot lane, makes sense that you want to take away some really pressuring laners.
Yeah, taking away the Vlad too from Kazuto makes a lot of sense. Not letting Kazuto just play in the safe lane and trying to, playing a little safer and not fighting Endo.
I like the Fiddle ban as a response to the Rek'Sai ban. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, honestly, very smart pick and ban from both sides so far. Or, I guess just smart bans. No picks come through yet.
Yeah, this is where the brains turn off.
This is where the Teemo first pick, yeah.
Exactly. I don't want to give him any secret strats, but...
I think it's too late for that. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You know what, we tried.
The Hecarim ban, or pick up first for Zabel, I like it a lot. It's something Adoma has really exceeded on, and honestly, a lot of the Rec League has really enjoyed this pick. Just going straight into, the level 6, get Hecarim rolling through team fights. And then two safe pickups.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. 2 safe pickups from Scuttle Crab, the Renekton and the Tristana, tried and true for Zim and Endo.
Yeah, I want to look at what Adoma's going to pick now to try to facilitate that Renekton. Because that's kind of a statement there, right? That they're going to want to play around that top side.
I don't want to say anything, too premature, but he plays a lot in Italy, and the new Renekton Elise is Renekton Italy, so we could see it.
I'd be down with that.
Hell yeah.
Oh, there's no way.
So Scuttle Crab had literally just got out of a ranked game where their 5 picks were Renekton, Tristana, Shyvana, Nautilus mid, and Lulu support. And they have 3 of those 5 champs right now. So who knows? Could be spicy.
Okay. All right. Well, we see a Yasuo ban come out. I mean, if they're picking the Nautilus, I'm not super in love with it just because, he counters him really hard. You can just whack him once and he can't do anything anymore. But maybe they've seen some scrim results that I haven't seen or some game results.
I mean, I also don't know if they're going to play Nautilus. I was just saying that's in their match history very, very recently. So.
Oh, now I'm locked onto it. There's no other...
Oh, yeah. I like it. But, I mean, they're pushing the Morgana and the Leona off the table, so Nautilus actually looks like a juicy pickup for either Silky or 20 right here.
Yeah, and I mean, they don't even necessarily need to lock it in for the mid lane, right? Like, they could go something like Nautilus support, and then, I don't know, Galio's still up, and that can facilitate a Shyvana jumping in and Nautilus going in. But there's the Lulu you were talking about. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
It does make sense to give counterpick to Silky Bandit right here. Let him play something comfortable. I mean, we're not sure if the Rise is going top lane or mid lane, but I'm assuming Kazuto is going to be taking that up top.
Yeah, I would guess. Just kind of looking at what both players play.
And who knows? It could be a Tristana mid for Scuttle Crab too. So you don't really know what's going on. There's a Lucian pickup.
Ooh.
Going to Blueprint, I'm assuming, or Kazuto. I don't know. That's a 50-50.
Yeah, I'm guessing it would be mid.
I don't know. I like the Lucian into Renekton matchup.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
Yeah, you can bully him pretty hard, and when you lane bully Renekton, keep him down, he's going to do nothing in the mid-game team fights, which is where Scuttle Crab has been shining.
I do like that flexibility based on what they see here, because you can make a lot of the same arguments for what Rise will do. If Renekton dashes in, he can freeze him in place, and then just poke him out for the other time. But we do see the Xerath come through.
Yeah, and I guess, which lane would you rather have into the Xerath at that point? Would you want the Lucian go into it, or the Rise? Because both are very short-ranged. It looks like they're putting Lucian mid and Rise top.
I think that makes a lot of sense. At least he can get away from that the stun really easily.
Yeah, what do you think about these 2 team comps right now?
It looks like it's going to be very snowbally. Primarily, like, it's weird because the snowball factor is kind of like crisscrossed, where that Lucian is going to require a lot of attention really early, just into that matchup in particular, and the Renekton's going to want some help as well. My guess is. So, I don't know. I think it's whichever lane kind of breaks through first, mid or top. with the Lucian and Renekton both being the onus is on them.
Yeah, that's fair. And I really like the Xerath pickup into Lucian because Lucian excels at being a short-ranged bully where if you try to go up to a wave, he Qs through it, hits you, the dashes forward, auto attacks. But Xerath has such long range, Lucian's not really going to be able to stand in front of the mini wave just because Xerath will be able to hit him with a Q really easily and poke him down. The W from Xerath is also super long range. And if Lucian tries to dash forward to get out of those, Xerath always has a stun to follow up. So Blueprint's going to have to play this lane really, really well if he wants to poke out Silky Bandit.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I'd say the same for Silky as well, right? Like, at the end of the day, this is all skill shots, and Lucian does have a dash, so he's going to be really on top of his ability to stun and his ability to poke in order for that lane to stay in his favor, take advantage of that range.
Yeah, honestly, with the first pick, Hecarim for Zabel, I was thinking that we're going to see a lot more action early game out of Adoma. But then he went and picked Shyvana, so I don't know what to expect of these junglers. Probably nothing in the early game, at least.
Yeah. Who knows, though, right? Like, maybe some spicy runes come through and, I don't know, like a Predator gank comes in at, like, level 4, but...
That would be super spicy if we got Predator for one of the runes. I don't think we're getting that.
We can dream.
We can dream. I do like the side of Infernal. They have a lot of pick potential from it. You have the Bard ultimate and the Ashe ultimate. Those kind of don't synergize that well, but I mean, there are certain times when you could make some super hype outplays with it.
For sure, yeah. Like, Bard ults first sets up a really easy Ashe ult.
Yeah. But they have to have the communication down in order to do that, which is week 7, so you hope that they do.
Hey, no, let's not assume anything.
Fair. On the other side of the thing, I really like the you got a lot of poke coming out from, I'm assuming it's an AP Shyvana, and when she ults, she does so much damage. The Q can basically one-shot an 80 carry, and then you have the Xerath follow-up. So if Adoma can time his ultimates right, he can poke somebody out really low, and Xerath can easily clean it up. So setting up for objectives is going to be very, very hard for the side of Infernal unless they can get there first.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Not only just like things like dragons or barons, but also just their turret siege is really strong on the back of Xerath, Tristana. And I was a little worried about the peel that they have. That's a lot of pressure just put on a single Lulu. But the ability for Shyvana to just dump damage if she's in dragon form, in and of itself is like a weird form of peel. Like, that's a lot of zone control in a lane.
My camera just shut off for some reason. Nope, never mind, it's back. That was weird. Sorry about that, everyone. But we're going to be getting into it momentarily. Everyone's loaded up. We got the 3 minutes down, jumping into the game pretty soon. It's going to be good. So for this first game, we know that Scuttlecrab has already clinched first spot. They have first seed in the Ocean Conference, and that is so big for them going into playoffs. Infernal, though, are fighting for their last legs to get second place over Mountain. Mountain went 2-0 earlier in the day with some hard-fought victories.
Yeah, those are some statement games.
Yeah, yes, they were. That was good. Has it started up for you?
I'm sitting at 100%.
Okay, well, I think my client's bugging out right now. Haven't even started uploading the game yet.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, this might be bad. This is awkward.
Well,
we'll start whenever.
All right, I'm in.
Okay, we're gonna have you pause the game then, and we'll start at the same time.
Like pausing them or pausing the stream?
Pausing the stream. No, they'll just keep playing. That's fine.
Okay.
But I need to catch up anyways.
I got you.
But yeah, so what I was gonna say is the siege potential is really good from Scuttlecrab, but then again, they have to be very concerned about that Hecarim engage. They have 5 squishy members, I guess 4 squishy members because Renekton is naturally tanky. And Shyvana's most likely going AP, so it's going to be a little bit rough for them if Hecarim can get behind. But as you were saying, the Lulu might have a hard job trying to figure out who to peel for. But if you save that W for Polymorph, you only have one target really on the enemy team. You just want to make sure that Hecarim can't run in, get the ultimate off, and split your team up. And if you can W him before he can get into your team, then that's pretty much a one-team fight for you.
Yeah, and that's where warding is going to be super important, right? Like, if they can keep their flanks really well warded as they're setting up for a siege, then that should be easy mode, right? Because they'll see it coming, and then they can immediately W as soon as he gets efficient. But if Infernal can get really good ward control, then I can see a pretty easy world where it looks like Scuttle's overstaying repeatedly.
Okay, we're going to start at 15 seconds. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, good.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. And we're out. Sorry about that, folks. League just didn't load for me for some reason. But we're in it now. A lot of early pings on the map already. Looking like Infernal is going for something spicy. Setting
like
up
it.
Bard coming forward. Kanabi
Yeah, Bard
leading the
edge.
charge. Seeing Endo. He's just going to dash over the wall.
That might have, I mean, a little bit of implication for laning phase, but not in any kind of big way.
Yeah, and smart on Endo for holding his ability until he gets to lane.
For sure.
I do like that Infernal goes to place this ward around red buff to spot out where the Shyvana is going to be. On the opposite sides of things, it looks like Adoma is going in to place its own ward. Are they staying for this?
Out now? Yeah, I was going to say they might stay.
I don't know if they have the stronger level 1, though.
Because they never saw, I don't think they ever saw Infernal leave. So they might be just thinking the red's getting stolen.
That's true, but they're going to see him now. Kanabi walking forward. Adoma putting down the damage. The bomb is on. Good stun, though, from Bard. Lucian is here as well. Hecarim coming down. He started the Raptors, actually. The ward is out, and Scuttle running for the hills right here.
I think that's smart. Just kind of cut your losses. I mean, the timing sucks a little bit for Shiv, but on the other hand, it is Shyvana jungle, right? She's going to rip through her camps pretty quickly.
And they do. Honestly, they're kind of around the same. Neither bot lane leashed. Actually, Adoma's pretty far behind. I lied about that one.
Yeah, I mean, he started his blue after Zabel already took a couple of the Raptors, so... Oh, comes with cheesy level 2.
Yeah, and honestly, Zabel might just be able to take this red buff and 3-buff Adoma right now, who's on the opposite side of the map. Instead, it's going to be going for the Raptors.
Oh man, that Xerath poke.
Yeah, Blueprint's got to be really careful in this lane.
That's not a good sign for Infernal. When you pick a Lucian mid, like, you're expecting to win that matchup.
Yeah, but Zabel's coming in, blows Silky's flash, and is able to get out.
That's good. Yep, take the blue, and then he'd probably go crab, and I would imagine revisit there and try to take advantage of the blowing flash.
That would be nice. But we're seeing Adoma right now trying to go in for an invade, looking for the Raptors from Adoma, or for Zabel. And this is really smart since he knows that the Hecarim's on the opposite side of the map from the pathing.
Yeah, and it sets him up to take the bottom side crab as well. And I mean, maybe even take Krugs first if he's feeling confident. After seeing that Scry, he should probably go to the Krugs as well.
Top lane and bot lane are pretty even in CS right now. Not much is happening there. A little bit of skirmishing back and forth, but mostly just farming up. And you're right, Kazuto on this rise is doing actually pretty well, and to end up poking him down quite a bit.
Yeah, the game breaker, though, is we see the Rise is really low in mana. And if he overstays and can only really, like, get a single snare off, that's going to inevitably tilt in Endo's favor.
Ooh, just like this, Endo going in, has to flash forward. First blood to the Croc in the top lane.
Well played.
Kazuto just dropping an emote before he drops himself. Yeah, it was smart on Endo knowing his damage ability right there. Just a
Yeah, I'm
little
gonna be honest.
cocky.
It shocked me how much damage he did. I didn't think he was gonna have, particularly that Q after he had already procced the press the attack.
Yeah, I mean, press the attack just does so much, especially for an actor early on. It's such a good ability for him. And we see Zabel once again looking in this mid lane. Xerath doesn't sniff it out. Doesn't have that flash, but does have barrier. And Zabel's going in.
Oh, nice.
Silky going up. Flash from Zabel, able to take him out. One more auto, and Blueprint takes it right there. 1-0 on Lucian.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge. They need to get this Lucian to a position where he can just naturally generate pressure.
Yeah, definitely. He went for a Cole starting item, which I think is very, very aggressive, but also, I mean, you're expecting to win this lane, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and he is up in farm by a decent amount still, despite that early poke. So it's kind of paying off right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Endo with a kill on Kazuto. I'm sorry I missed that one, but the Croc is having a good time up here.
Yeah, it becomes even more imperative that Lucian can stand on his own because Zabel's got to be, he's got to be looking up there at some point soon, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they look to swap because the Rise has to scale up, right? Their team fight, their team comp rather, is kind of banking on that late game damage, given that Lucian's going to fall off and Ashe is going to be kind of an arrow bot as the game goes on.
Lucian also going the Man Immune build though, going for the tier first, will scale up pretty nicely into the late game, but it's just if you're close enough to get the damage off. Because again, you have to be in range of a Xerath and a Tristana late game, and that kind of feels bad.
Yeah. Putting aside the Crocodile as well. Right, like Lucian dashes in and then immediately gets stunned.
And Adoma looking for a sneaky dragon right there, able to pick up the mountain for himself. And this early game is, after that bad start, Adoma 47 CS to Zabel's 32. Looking real good on this dragon.
Yeah, and obviously there's the Shyvana thing of wanting dragon in the first place, so it's looking good for Scuttle Crab. Like, things are working as intended across the board.
Yeah, we see a little bit of CF lead in the top lane and mid lane for Infernal, but that is nullified by the 2 kills Endo has picked up right now. He's going in for another one. He's ulting in on Kazuto. So much damage getting put down. Neither one has flash right now. Snare is going to be up in a little bit, but he's able to walk away. Hecarim is here in the charge, going in, looking for something, but I mean, he's just going to let the Croc walk away. Adoma's here as well, going to ult in, look for something else. He's flashing in forward, getting a lot of damage, blowing up Kazuto. Blueprint is here, though, and the call is to walk away.
Really nice counter gank there. And that ship damage, without even finishing the jungle item yet, that's already insane amounts of damage on that fire breath.
Yeah, that was so much. I thought he was going to go for Zabel, but I mean, Adoma smartly waiting for Kazuto to be in range before flash forward the ult. Silky Bandit putting the hurt down in the mid lane onto Blueprint.
That was really nice. He is getting a little low in mana, so hopefully that shiv is feeling nice and pass it over his mid laner for that next blue buff. Bot lane pressure going back towards Infernal side, and they're going to get a reset in. But there's got to be that little timer in the back of Infernal's head right now, looking at Triss just kind of having a free lane to farm up it.
Oh, that was close. Zim looking for blood right there, walking forward and warding the bush. As fast Super Duper cannot be back. That was so close.
The auto still followed him there. It was really funny.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do against Tristana is shove in hard early on and just watch the Triss try to farm up under tower. It's so great.
Yeah, and you'd think that they had the ability to with an Ashe and then a Bard to like you know, they try to mess with the Ashe as she's volleying, but a lot of respect being put or given to Zeem and 420 Blaze at Nerd.
And I mean, you have to. At this point, Zeem and 420 have shown that they are willing to fight at all times during the game and look good when they do it. We have Adoma sneaking in down here. Just helping out his bot lane, try to shove in.
Oh. Cancels back.
Yeah, he's trying to sniff out a gank from Zabel, but Zabel's on the opposite side of the map. Might be going for this Herald.
The Scryers did just go off top side, so he might have an idea, but... Or maybe he's just going for a normal gank. His Dragon Form is up. He can fly in right now.
I think they're waiting for this melee to walk out, but Zeem is also pushing this lane.
Yeah, it seems like Infernal's bot lane smells something's up.
I wanted to pull the trigger. They have Bard on a ward right there, but they probably don't have enough damage to kill him.
I mean, maybe, you know, like... Oh, you see Endo going back in.
Yeah, Kazuto respecting the damage, just walking away after that snare.
Oh.
Yeah, we're getting a gank in the bot lane. Zeem able to ult Zabel away, but the auto attacks from Ashe are nice, and he has to flash. Back in the top lane, Endo's going on to Kazuto. Ulting. Might go into turret. Never mind, going to be backing away as well.
And that's definitely a good call. Might be looking for another... Oh, jeez, but that Rise poke is... It's adding up. Yep, there it is.
Stepping forward. Good flash from Rise, but getting the snare into turret. One more auto attack, and we'll do it, and holy crap. Woo! Kazuto living with like 20 health right there. That was insane. We're in the bot lane. 420 they're going to low. Zeem jumping away with the Lulu ultimate on top. And 420 is going to go down to a smite from Zabel.
Whew. There was so much in that like little fight in the bot lane that happened with Zabel ulting and immediately getting polymorphed and then
Oh no, we're getting a lot of fights right now. Action coming all around. We have the Croc teleporting behind Zabel, Kanabi, and Fat Super Dude. And then on the other side of things, Lucian getting caught out by Adoma and Silky. And we'll have to see what happens right here. We're going to get some sort of fight around this dragon. All 5 members of Scuttlecrab are here collapsing on this fight. Rise is still AFK. That Super Dude getting poked down. Teleport coming in from Rise, but I don't know if he wants to be next to the Croc. Zabel going in, Adoma going in as well, gets exhausted immediately. Zeem taking out one, Adoma super low, isn't going down. The Croc is in the fight though, and now Blueprint behind taking out Adoma, looking for more. Zeem going low, but gets a double kill, jumping away from this one. And then Ashe on the backside getting poked out by Silky Bandit, able to pick up another. Now Kazuto and Kanabi have to run away from the fight.
As the fight started, I was kept trying to say that like Infernal's just got to pick a side and go, because the longer that they danced around in front of the dragon right there, the more time they just gave for Scuttle to get up in position and collapse on them.
Now speaking about gotta go, they're looking for a further fight. Kazuto doing a lot of work right here, but Kanabi's getting poked down. Teleport is coming in. Kazuto just putting down the hurt right now. Blueprint coming forward with this Lucian, going in onto the Lulu. Kazuto also ulting into the backline. Zeem down with a W. Nice blazing ardent from Blueprint. And now we're having people run away. They're on a ward. They will be spotted. Endo picking up a kill. Bard just walking into him. Bagram on the backside. Going on Silky Bandit. Taunted up under the turret. Stunned up. Sorry. Going in. Endo trying to do what he can. Zabel living with 100 health. Everyone is. Endo has to ult, but Blueprint is here looking for it. Silky Bandit still under this turret for some reason. Is out of mana and out of life, but I don't think Infernal can take him out.
I think there's a word for these types of games. Fiesta. Yeah, there it is.
We call him fun.
Oh yeah, I mean it's implied, right? It's a party.
That was some crazy fighting right there.
Oh, and we're not done yet.
No, Dolma going in onto Blueprint, getting another Dark Harvest proc, but Zabel is here going in fast Super Dude as well. Shut down for Adoma, but shut down for Zabel.
Does so much damage at this point. Almost going 2 for 1 there. Taking out Zabel right at the end, but... Yeah, that's just scary. As this game goes on, that's going to be a lot to deal with on the Infernal side.
Yes, it is, and Adoma with the Dark Harvest just keeps stacking up over these fights. He's going to be putting out so much work in the late game.
Is there some way to check? There's got to be.
I think you can click on Adoma.
3. Yep.
And then hit,
so he's looking at 3 stacks right now, which isn't a lot, but you got to figure as the game goes on and he starts to do even more damage, like that number's going to ramp up really fast in a really short amount of time.
That it is. And on Infernal right now, we see their tier items are completed. You got the Archangel Staff and the Mana Immune on Lucian. And so they're looking to scale up in this game. And eventually they will hit those points.
I mean, this is kind of what they were waiting for, right? To get to this point, particularly for that rise. You know, 1 in 4, but he's scaling. Oh, but not like this.
Honestly, I think they need to just swap the rise out of this lane right now for Lucian.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
It's a little rough one. But we got Hecarim on the backside on Silky Bandit right here. Going in, getting the dash over the wall. Silky Bandit trying to do what he can, stay alive. But Blueprint picking up another kill with a nice gank from Zabel.
I mean, I guess this is the other side of that, right? Is if the Lucian gets big enough off of the Xerath, like, you kind of dodge that falling off by just having so much gold, and you can bank on the rise being relevant at some point in the game regardless, right? Like, he could die 5 more times and still do damage, but association going in.
Yeah, Doma ulting to save the turret. It's pretty good. That mid lane turret going down will mean that Lucian can freely roam across the map with Hecarim, and you really don't want that if you're a Scuttle fan.
No, not at all. Farm numbers.
Compared to the rest of the lanes, bot lane has been very, very quiet. Where you have an Ashe and a Bard with so much gank setup potential, that you think they would try to use it more. But Zeman 420 putting down a lot of good wards to be able to play it safe.
Yeah, and I mean, it fits with how Infernal normally plays anyways, right? Like, they're trying to take advantage of their, I guess, hard carry players, as we've seen from a lot of games in mid and top. So I think they're just looking at their our abilities for late game team fights as opposed to trying to make anything happen in lane. Especially since, like, if the Trist buffers her jump in time, as we already saw in an earlier one, it doesn't matter if the Ashe lands an arrow.
Yeah, that is very fair. But you could always aim for the Lulu.
That is true.
Hecarim going for a Rift Herald right now, while Adoma is sitting in the top lane, looking to kill Ryze once again. And they might sniff a gank coming out because Lucian just walked up mid lane. So Adoma's going to stay here for a little bit more.
There is a war. Oh, there was the pink down. Yeah, they're probably making the call to back off at this point.
And we see Silky roaming up, but no, just going back in mid lane. I thought more was going to happen right there, but it didn't. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I think it's smart from both sides, really, to just, you know, recognize what the game state is and take what's kind of...
Going in mid lane, getting the fear down onto Silky Bandit. He's going low, won't have the Lulu ultimate in time, and that is another kill. Bardo going onto Lulu, though, but 420 is going to take the blast cone and be able to get out. Kazuto is here. He teleported in, doing so much damage, and they're going to trigger a dragon for a kill in the top turn.
Yep. Credit to both teams that no objective or kill has felt free, right? Whenever anything's happening, they're... Oh.
Sorry, you were saying?
Oh, no, like, the other team's taking something on the other side of the map, which, I mean, that's what you want to see. That's some good old League of Legends. Two turrets, though.
Yeah. Rift Herald being able to get 2 charges off does a lot of work right there. But we're seeing a collapse from Endo. Not sure who he's collapsing on. Actually, never mind. Infernal is here to fight. We're getting another one. Zabel going in. Good flash in. But now we have Blueprint getting hit up by Adoma. Adoma still going strong. Kazuto now on the wrong side of things. Trying to run away. Is going to get exhausted. Has that shield, though, from the Manamune. Adoma taking up the kill. 300 gold for him. And everyone's trying to dodge away from these Xerath shots. And looks like they can.
And even then, they trade a turret, right? So, I mean, I think you're happy with that if you're Scuttle, turning what looked like an endo pick into a kill for you, but it's, again, really good back and forth macro play.
Yeah, and for Infernal, I'm okay trading a 1-in-5 rise for a bot lane turret. Like, that's perfectly good in my book.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, it's 20 minutes into the game. This is probably the closest Scuttle Crab game we've seen so far. Infernal's up by about 1.5k. And the map state is pretty much even. I mean, the mid lane turrets are quite a big thing for Infernal. That Shelly was crucial for them to pull ahead, but I don't know. It's a super even game.
And I think the mid turrets, like you just said, have such big implications for the Dragons, which are, like, putting even aside the Shiv pick, which makes it very clear that that's what they're going for. Like, that's what they're playing around, right, having taken 2 already. But they're going to be hard pressed to get any. Oop, I see a bar go down for nothing. But yeah, Infernal can just get down vision into any real part of the jungle on the bot side, right? Like, they can set up deep towards the blue buff, around Wolf Camp, and just get any pick and immediately turn that to Dragons when they spawn, which is really bad given what Scuttle's game plan is most likely centered around.
Yeah, we actually see an Air Drake Rift being on the Rift right now, and that's pretty good for Hecarim if you can get 4 Air Drakes.
Just a little bit.
Actually, Air Drakes are pretty good for both teams right here. We're seeing a little bit of posturing around Baron, not expecting anything to come out, but just a lot of vision clearing from the side of Infernal. And Scuttle Crab are looking to fight over this vision.
Yeah, as they should, right? They're recognizing that Infernal's clearing the area. Oh, but nice pick.
Oh, good Ash Arrow onto the Lulu going in. A lot of poke coming down, but both teams are set up as a 5-man stack, and neither one wants to pull the card to go in.
That's a very small win for Scuttle Crab right there, getting the Ash ult down.
Yeah, although the Essence Reaver is finished on Ash, so the cooldown is pretty short.
Yeah, and it's already almost halfway. Oh my god, it's already almost halfway.
Yeah, it's crazy.
64 seconds.
The one win for Infernal right there was that they had the mid-wave shoved in, and oh, good flash from Silky Bandit to get away from that Bard ult. That was close to a death right there. But in the top lane, we have Adoma and Zeem looking at Kazuto going in. That is...
Oh my god!
You don't even need Zeem! Adoma! Holy crap, my dude. Kid has a family.
Not anymore. Wow.
Yeah, and as we were saying, this the Shyvana pick is going to scale with the Dark Harvest stacks. And if you can keep picking off Kazuto over and over again, who doesn't have any MR yet, you're going to get stronger.
Yeah, he's already got 2 more, and that's going to keep going up, as we see there. I mean, if the Rise is going to keep trying to push in the solo lane, like, that's going to be rinse and repeat for the Shyvana.
Yeah, and we were just talking about the vision war going on in the top side around Baron. And when you do that as both teams, it just means that you have no vision in the bot side jungle. So being up that far just puts yourself at a huge risk. And we have a dragon spawning in about 30 seconds, which is where both teams are most likely going to fight over. Infernal, Infernal does have 280 carries though, so if they want, they can give this one up to try to force down Baron, but it might be risky.
I think they probably feel the pressure seeing 2 dragons already and a Shiv, right? Like, even if you don't get Soul, those dragons have a little bit of extra value. But Scuttle was here first by a pretty substantial margin, which is surprising given the map state.
Yeah, they know where Infernal is right now. They know they're on the bot side. They set up a couple of wards, but the pink ward is going to keep their entrance safe. They auto-attack it. Dragon is started by Scuttle Crab. Endo's getting a little bit low. Zabel's looking for his engage. Shyvana over the wall into 5 members. So much damage right there. Bardo on the backside, followed up by Zabel as well. He's in the middle of 4. We have a Croc going down. That's a Doma going down. Zeem looking to pick up one for himself. Gets it onto Blueprint now. Nobody's touching Zeem, and that's Lulu ultimate on top of him. Keeps him alive. He's going forward, looking for these final auto attacks. Gonna pick up Kazuto here with a bomb. Oh, there's a stopwatch. Bazim smells it out. One auto attack will do it. Doesn't jump over the wall, though. And that was...
That shiv damage.
Oh, that was so crazy from both sides. Break it down. Tell us what happened right there.
It was simultaneous engages, right? The shiv flying over the wall and immediately getting down the Dragon Breath on, it looked like 3 people. We see a teleport coming in.
Right, just a secure
here. But at the same time, Kanabi landed a nasty Bard ult that hit 3 to set up Zabel for the re-engage. We're kind of seeing the inability for anyone else to really follow up with Zabel there, though. Right? Like, if there's somebody else that can be a kind of dumb dive buddy with him that can dish out some damage, then that fight looks a lot different. But Tristana was able to reposition. The Shiv did enough damage right before dropping that it didn't really matter. Shiv stayed alive, or not Shiv. Tristana stayed alive and cleaned it up.
Yeah, and Scuttlecrab played that fight exactly how they wanted to. I mean, the backside of it, Silky, Zeem, and Blazing Nerd got ulted up by the Bartle, which was super clean from Kanabi and saved the team fight for him. But if that doesn't happen, then Scuttlecrab go 5-0 right there with the Domus damage.
Oh, easily, yeah.
And it just means that Infernal are going to have to really rethink how they try to play these fights. Because you see it. They're grouped up. Adoma has the... It's the same as the Fiddlesticks, right? He jumps over a wall unexpected, does so much damage to you, and then you get picked off one by one. So they're really going to have to not stay clumped in these fights. We see an engage coming in. Good Bartle and the Ashwell on top of it. They're going in. Endo is the one target. No, Blazing is going to get ulted up by Blueprint. He's on a rampage. Zeem going super low right here. Is he going to get feared up? But he's slowed. Doesn't have the jump. Kanabi takes that one. And Adoma on the backside gets killed by Blueprint as well. That is 3 dead on Scuttlecrab, and everyone on Infernal is alive, and they're running to Baron.
Yeah, and that kind of connects to the previous point about that team fight, where I don't even think it was necessarily an execution error, but it was the fact that Scuttle was there like a minute sooner than Infernal was. And they were able to get in position and have a choke point that they could fight back into. But in that kind of open situation right there, the Bard ult being set up into the Ash ult with the Hecarim engage, like, it doesn't matter at that point. They can close that gap, and there are enough avenues for them to collapse in on you. You can see, oh, they're getting pushed off by Zera.
Wait, no, finish it. You have Smite. What are you doing?
What are they doing? What are they doing?
Zabel's just going to get poked down. He gets it, but, oh my god. That was a interesting call to stop the Baron right there, but they wanted to make sure Renekton wasn't coming over the wall, I guess. Ash re-engaged, though, onto the Renekton. Good arrow right there. Ult is coming out, but Blueprint is dominating this Lucian. 10-2-4, looking so sick.
Wow. Yeah, and the game just got a heck of a lot easier for Infernal now. The Lucian could be pretty safely in a side lane and flex that score that he has on pretty much anybody. I don't think there's anybody that can win that 1v1. The one avenue, I guess, that Scuttle can try to use is if the Ryze is going to keep split pushing, we've already seen time and again that the Shiv has enough damage to pop it. And that can just spiral into some other part of the map.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And, I mean, the downside for Infernal is Scuttlecrab has a ton of wave there with Silky Bandit and Zeem. So they can hold off a lot of this pressure. And the dive potential from Infernal just really isn't there unless you layer all your ults basically perfectly.
And to be fair for Infernal side, like, we have seen pretty close to the ideal layering of their engage tools, right? Like, that fight in the mid lane that we saw earlier was textbook with the Bard into the Ashe into the Hecarim. So they have shown they can execute this comp.
Yeah. And right now we see Blueprint splitting in the side lane while Kazuto's in the top lane. We're having a 1-3-1 going. And now we have, oh, Silky Bandit just walking into the team. But he's able to get away from Mist Ashel. That is lucky, Silky. Very lucky.
Yeah, there's no other real way to put that. It was a smart adaptation there by Infernal to stack up on Kazuto where he's pushing, given what we've seen many, many times already of Scuttle punishing that. See, Dragon is spawning in 45 already, and this time Infernal's the one that's first to the pit.
Yeah, and we might see a different team fight that you were talking about for Infernal. Adolm's going to be walking forward, but nobody from Infernal is here. Blueprint stepping up to catch this wave. And Adolma might be looking to go in, but he's spotted out on a pink ward. We see Endo sneaking in behind, but he's also on a ward right now. They see this coming a mile away. Infernal are waiting around the walls, and there's a flash forward from Endo. Looking a little aggressive for this. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Kazuto is just shoving up onto this inhibitor.
Yeah, maybe they'll try to contest, but it looks like they're just pretty content to try to take mid lane down, but oh, he's not even going to get it.
I mean, there's another wave coming in, but this is sole point for Scuttle Crab. Is it worth trading inhibitor for soul? I don't know, but they're going in. Bardo onto 3 with the Astral as well. And the Lucian damage is coming across, and that is a dead Renekton right off the bat. Zeem soon to follow. That is all your damage right there from Scuttle Crab. And holy crap, Infernal are turning this one around. They're coming up strong. Kazuto walking to the mid lane. Blueprint teleporting in. They have the mid lane turret down. The only one left alive is 420 Blazoner. He's caught out by Kazuto, though, and he's going to be able to take him out. Never mind, Exhaust and Polymorph. One more will do it. That is an ace for Infernal.
GG. And we see there, right? They got first at the pit. They were able to set up their vision, and the fight looks 100% different.
Yeah, and Infernal came into this game with a strong team comp. They took away the Hecarim. They knew how powerful of a tool that is in the Rec League. They go with these strong split push solo laners with Kazuto and Lucian, and a lot of pick potential from the bot lane. And they're able to pick up game 1 in this series, looking so crisp and so clean.
Yeah. Scuttle's got to be looking at how they played that out to some degree, and I'm sure there's a little bit of confusion given that they were ahead for a decent chunk in that early to mid game. I think looking at the draft, yes, the Lucian popped off, and maybe that's where you look to first. But it's worth noting that in the very early game, the Lucian was struggling mightily, right? And it was the Hecarim ganks that set him up for success. I kind of look at as well that the Hecarim being the big problem there, as well as not necessarily it being Rise, but the top laner having inevitability regardless of how ahead the Renekton got.
Yeah, that is fair. And honestly, I'm not upset with how Scuttle played that game. It was really, really well played up to until that last team fight. And I want to say the turning point for them was giving up the 2 mid lane towers for that 1 dragon. The Scuttle Crab, the Rift Herald summon right there, opening up the map for Infernal was absolutely huge for them. As you said, able to set up vision and get to that dragon fight first. It was just well played from both sides. It was such a fun game to watch. And with that, we're going to send it over to a quick 5-minute break so I can grab some water. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Game 2 of Scuttle Crab versus Infernal. And we'll see if Infernal can actually do it, get the 2-0 over the first seed team, and clinch second for themselves. See you in a bit. Hello, hello, and welcome back, Rec League. My name is Darth Ted. I'm joined here by Crack Variety, and we had a fantastic game between Infernal and Scuttlecrab. Just can't say it enough. Those two teams played their hearts out that game, and it was just so fun to watch. Crack, what do you got on it?
It certainly lived up to the hype of a 1 seed versus a possible, I don't know if technically still possible, 2 seed.
I'm not sure. It has to come down to tiebreakers if Infernal win this one, and I don't know the stats on their win time and head to head and whatnot, so we'll figure it out afterwards and let you guys know. But it's I mean, in the power rankings that they did on Wrecked After Dark, I think everyone had Infernal, who is a 5-3 team, I believe at the time, above Scuttlecrab, who was 7-1. And the whole thing about it was that Scuttlecrab had an easier strength of schedule, meaning they just played weaker teams up to this point. But then Krugs destroyed Infernal, and I thought Scuttlecrab were going to be 2-0ing this one. And turns out, Infernal come out swinging.
Yeah, I do think it doesn't feel like it's going to be a stomp in this game, right? Like, despite how strong Infernal looked, Scuttle still looked really good as well. It came down to really, like you were saying earlier, that opening of the map with the Herald and the subsequent ease of team fighting that Infernal created. But that can easily flip in this game.
Yeah, it definitely can. And what do you think? I mean, because we saw Scuttlecrab's game plan of get a Doma onto this jump over the wall champ that we've seen time and time again. How did Infernal play around that? What did they do well in that game?
I think the big thing there was their go buttons were so much clearer and easier to execute on, with Bard ult, Ash ult, and Hecarim ult, in a way that you couldn't really say for Scuttle. Like, yes, the Shyvana can jump in, but outside of dishing out a ton of damage initially, that's really all that happens, right? There's no CC that's coming down. There's no way to keep multiple carries out of the fight and doing damage. And that's really what ended up happening there, is just Infernal's team fight caused people not to do damage for a bit. So really what I want to see is recognizing that fact and picking a little more CC in their comp.
All right, that's fair. And with that, we'll just send it straight into the lobby. I was going to follow up with what do you want to see from Scuttlecrab, but you already answered it. Just know what I'm asking for already. And I guess we got asked, are we going to see the same bans coming out from both sides? The early targets at the bot lane for Infernal and the early target at Kazuto and the rec side for Zabel.
My guess is no. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. We know that Kanabi's really comfortable on Bard, and those ults were on point. You can't really allow that to continue.
Yeah. In the one team fight you were talking about where it's very split, where both teams engaged, Adoma had that sick engage on the backline, and Kanabi stopped the backline from Scuttlecrab from engaging. Basically, that saved the game for Infernal. If Scuttlecrab had won that team fight, they win the game.
Yeah, there's a really strong chance of that. And we see even more response to the last game with the Lucian ban. And I think that's good, right? You clearly saw that they could perform in those picks. Don't get stubborn with whatever you looked up prior to the game. React to what you just saw in front of you.
Yeah, and I do like the Kate and Tarek bans from the side of Infernal. Just as we said before, those champions are really, really strong for a Scuttlecrab. Giving Zeem that lane pressure on Caitlyn is super obnoxious. And the Tarek ultimate from 420 Blazoner just means that Scuttlecrab can teamfight whenever they want, whenever they have that up.
It's going to be interesting what this last ban is. If it's not a Hecarim, and it's not... I mean, you got to pick Hecarim here, right?
Yeah.
It's so strong. It fits into so many comps. We already saw Zabel perform. Yeah.
That does leave the Renekton up, which was a very fast pickup for Endo. So I'm interested to see if Kazuto goes for a lane bully style into Endo, or if they go for a safe bot lane pickup here.
I'd almost prefer the bot lane style. In some... Yeah, we see the Alistar starting to come first. That felt like your stereotypical solo Q Renekton game, where you get like it got ahead in lane, and then it just like and then nothing really happened in the mid to late game, right? And you have to really be pushing that tempo to take advantage of a fed Renekton, and we just didn't really see that going back to some of those fights that we saw.
All right, a Shen pickup could be for Zabel, but I'm thinking it's most likely going to Kazuto. And I mean, I like Shen as a top laner because it is that tanky frontliner. It can be engaged with that taunt flash, but it's just such a good split pusher. And if you can put a little bit of pressure there, if Zabel can put a little bit of pressure there from the early game, then a Shen that's ahead is a Shen that's always ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of curious as to the rationale for picking it when they did. Unless there was some reason to think that Endo was going to pick it, I don't think they needed to, unless they're trying to set up counter pick for AD carry and jungle. Like, I don't know, it didn't seem like a pressing thing to. But I guess now that we see that they're going for the global comp, that now it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, now it does.
So we're
curious.
It's got to be Zeem on something hyper carry.
I mean, we see this Jinx, right?
Yeah, and that would certainly fit with what we're seeing. Alternatively, I haven't seen Zabel really play it, but there's the obvious like Nocturne here. A lot of ways to facilitate that. And if you're going that route, then you want something that can like self-peel a little more. And Ezreal would be kind of nice. It kind of fits with how Infernal wants to play the game anyways. And if they're putting Zabel on kind of the bigger damage carry, I can see that comp working out for them. But as we see, Scuttle banning the Nocturne out, they sniffed out where this might be going.
Yeah, I do. I like the Urgot and Wukong ban against Endo, though. Getting those champions off the table that have a pretty easy time into Shen is really smart. Plus, their teamfight ultimates are absolutely insane, layered with Hecarim.
Yeah, it's going to be really curious what Endo goes for here.
I think he might just go back to the Croc. Oh! They think it's a Shen jungle. I mean, they banned 1-in-1, so just doing that to be safe. We get a Varus! Yes! It's my favorite champ in coordinated play.
My immediate thought looking at this Infernal comp is that's very low damage.
Yeah, but you're into a Jinx Morgana Hecarim right now, so there's nobody really tanking on the other side. And Varus has so much damage late game that it's kind of okay. Though, okay.
Saying, screw it, goes with the Garen.
All right. Oh, it is a Shen jungle.
It is, yep.
All right.
This is the setup. Okay.
I'm not sure what to think right now.
I mean, we've seen. So as far as the bot lane goes, I anticipate it going how we've kind of seen it already. Especially with the Morgana being on one side, like nothing's gonna happen. It's a no fun champ, so we can kind of move on from there. The really interesting is it looks like they might be thinking about putting Garen mid.
I'm definitely thinking it's going to be Garen top and Sylas mid, right? I don't know if Endo plays Sylas.
That is, they got to switch now.
Well, nope, they didn't swap, so we're sticking with it.
All right, interesting.
Okay, so if I'm Endo right here, I'm thinking I survive laning phase against Kennen, and then I have so many amazing teamfight ultimates to take. Alistar ultimate on Sylas is absolutely busted. Kennen ultimate on Sylas is super nuts. Even a Shen ultimate just to get yourself across the map and help out in teamfight. Like, that's sick. Plus, like, same with Galio. Like, you're happy with all your opponent's pickups right here.
Yeah, the flip side is, like, you can still do all that from the mid lane, right? And it feels like they opted into worse matchups on both ends. Like, theoretically, yes, the Sylas can close the gap on the Kennen poking him down a little better, but the Kennen doesn't have a speed boost, and if Kazuto is on top of it, he can dodge the chain and keep his distance. Whereas you can't really do that with the Garen running, and you can make some, like, cheeky brush plays, and then it puts the Sylas in position where you can steal the Galio ult and be able to impact all areas of the map instead of being kind of like stuck in the top lane, hoping that Shen comes up so you can steal it and have pressure on the rest of the map.
Yeah, that is fair. But, yeah, Garen in the mid lane as well just isn't as strong as in the top lane, because in the top lane you have this really long lane that he can run people down, do damage to. But in the mid lane, it's just kind of you run up, you Q, and then you can't do much because Galio might just taunt you onto the turret.
Because that's the biggest thing, right? Is like Garen can look really good into specific matchups in the mid lane. Galio doesn't feel like one of them. He's gonna run in and Q, and you just taunt and then run away. So I don't know. I would have liked to see them swap back and put the Garen top, but maybe they've practiced this and know something that you and I don't.
I think it might also just be a comfort thing of Silky Bandit. No, we've seen Silky Bandit play Sylas, and we've seen Edo play Garen, so... Plus,
And even
Garen's an easy champ, so anyone can play him.
exactly, right? And even if like there isn't a comfort level, I guess it would come down to Silky being super comfortable in Sylas, but like for a Garen pick, you could pick a few other champs that are trying to do a similar thing of just, go in and out and get some like really good harass / all-any potential. I don't know, it feels like not a narrow pick or archetype by picking Garen. There are other similar champions.
Yeah, that's fair. But let's talk about Infernal for a second then, before we get into the game. You were saying when they had the 4 picks that you didn't really like it because their damage profile was super low. How do you feel about the cannon pickup for Kazuto? Do you think that rounds out the team comp for them?
Tentative, yes. So the main thing I'm looking at is you see the combo with Kennen Galio with their ults layered on top of each other. I would like to see maybe greedily a little easier setup, I guess, for the Galio. It looks like they're banking pretty heavily on Alistar getting a really nice engage. But that's you can play around that, especially having a Morgana on your team. So I would have liked to see something a little more easy to execute with. For example, like a Jarvan there is setting up the Galio into Kennen ults and super easily. But maybe this is the reason why they picked all of these things. I think we're seeing the reason.
Oh no! They just boomed us. Oh, all right, everyone. So I'm gonna flash this really quickly, even though I have everything else up. You got to see it. It's beautiful. Let me turn this off real quick. Here we go. We're just flashing this on the screen for you all to see. They went the full Infernal comp. Their skin point is... oh, it's just so good.
It's even lined. Oh, it's so satisfying. The Galio and the Varus blending into each other.
Yeah, dude, they got us good. That was nice. Infernal.
Yeah,
good job.
Take back all my analysis. They won the draft.
They definitely won the draft right there. Yeah, Infernal going to win this game 2-0. So, I mean, Scuttle Crab should just forfeit right here.
Yeah, why didn't they pick the Crab champion?
Urgot was banned.
True. All right.
Yeah,
they never
sorry.
had a chance. Never had a chance this game.
All right, and we're going to see how this goes, but definitely mental edge to Infernal right now. And Scuttle Crab, you know they're loving that as well. GG's in chat. See you next season. Oh god, so
They
good. Alright, but we're seeing some pings on the Rift right now. We're in the game. Oh, I'm sorry. Our faces are on the wrong side. Let me fix that real quick.
I'm Ted now.
You can be Ted if you want.
No, I want to be Patrick.
No, this is Patrick. I wonder if we're going to get a dance squad right here, or if they're actually going to fight. Looks like they're going in, though.
It looks like Scuttle's going... Oh, yeah. Infernal's trying to flex on him right now.
Infernal's flexing while Scuttle's just sitting there. Are they going for a fight?
Loop around and don't fight. They just loop around and start dancing as well.
I want them to dance.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Don't be.
Oh, Fat
my
Super
God.
Dude drew
And it
first blood, though. They're waiting for it. Fat Super Dude in that. Good knockup from Alistar, though. A lot of damage being put down. Everyone's flashing away. Heals are blown. Summoners are blown. Galio is there, rooted up and taunted. Zabel gonna be first blood going over to Odolma. Jinxes can't get the last rocket onto Blueprint. And that's what you get, Fat Super Dude, for throwing that E. Your team dies.
And then the audacity to say why. That was your team.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna have to do me a favor, go back and get a replay and make sure that it was Fat Super Dude who auto first. Because if it was Scuttle Crab, then I'm gonna say there BM.
Going back right now. Yeah, it was Fat Super Dude.
Yeah, you can't be mad, Infernal. You do it. That's your own fault. But we're seeing a little bit of fighting in the top lane. Endo going really low to this Kennen poke. Those auto attacks doing so much work. And Kazuto can actually freeze this wave here. That's pretty bad for Endo.
That's what we're seeing, right? Like the intent is the Silas can close the gap, but as long as Kennen's on top of it and can dodge the chains, the Silas is gonna get poked out every single time.
Yeah, and
Oh, man,
Endo's
the
just going
long
to shove
con.
into wave and
Flash by Jinx.
sorry, missed that one. Is that
We
just a
had
level 2 gank?
Yeah, Zabel's sitting in the lane brush for a decent amount of time, actually.
Yeah, and Adolma's going to sniff out an opportunity to go in and steal the jungle away.
Really smart there.
And that's
a,
sorry, it's
Go
a
ahead.
first blood pony too, so Adolma looking pretty good right now.
yeah, hopefully Zabel is recognizing that his jungle might not be safe. Might take him going over to the Raptors, but really hope he sees that the Raptors are gone and immediately just pokes him with bog crab.
Yeah, but he doesn't really have anything. Oh my god, his able is so low.
Oh, gosh.
Oh no, don't walk into this.
Oh, no.
Mid lane's going Indo, Silky going low, Blueprint super low as well, but Adolma is here. Taunt going down, but
Oh, bye-bye.
you might be able to get
Oh.
out. Alright. Good flash from Zabel, saving that from the level 1.
We're seeing it right there, right? Like, in what world would a jungler invade and you see that the Raptors are done after you sat in bot brush? Oh. Wow, Silky. Okay, maybe the Garen mid into the Galio works better than anticipated.
Yeah, it was just unlucky too because Blueprint had to level up Taunt first. So having that initial wave clear and push on the wave just didn't happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. Quick look at the farm. So despite Endo getting poked out repeatedly, he is up by a wave.
Yeah, Kazuto has having a pretty hard time farming up under tower right there.
Starting call and having DMAT as well, and still being down in farm.
Yeah, it looks like Kazuto's just going more for poking down Endo than actually hitting these minions. He's just giving up easy minions that you can auto attack and take, but
And you know what? I would be more inclined to think that that's good or okay if you didn't take call first, right? Like there's some anti-synergy going on.
and it just means he hits his spike a little bit later. But he's got this huge wave pushed into the turret, and unfortunately there's no Zabel here to gank for him, but he's putting down so much poke onto Endo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we're seeing what we thought would happen with the Galio getting the edge on Garen with. Oh, Endo. Oh, but you're out of mana, buddy.
Yeah, Kazuto taking a couple of turret shots right there.
Yeah, and that's huge.
Endo is
Going back
TP. He could just back and be fine here. He doesn't need to stay for these 2 minions.
Oh, he's greeting. He's greeting so hard. I know this life.
Yeah, but he has his jungler on the top side, and Adolma is looking for this, taking the blast plant. He's going for it. Pony is charging up, ghosting in. Kennen doesn't have flash, doesn't use it yet. He's gonna get the stun, but Endo taking the kill with the flash auto.
Yeah. Pretty smart bait there.
Yeah, we were talking about the greed. No, we're talking about greed from Endo staying that long under tower. But he knows the Kennen has no dive potential if Shen isn't there. Calls a Doma over and they pick up an easy kill. That's good communication from them.
Yeah, it looked like maybe Kazuto got baited out by Blueprint there because he started to go up the river, and then right around, like right before he got to where Scuttle spawns, he backed away. So maybe he was thinking he had a little safety.
That is potentially the case. But the nice thing that Adolma's done is he put a lot of pressure on Disable. He took a lot of his camps, and he's kept this Shen really far down. And we see level 5s coming out from the bot lane, while Zable's still only level 4, which is really unfortunate as a Shen. You want to power farm, hit that level 6 point so you can counteract the Hecarim ganks. But just being behind means that his team can't really fight until he's there.
It's all that Super Dude's fault.
Dude, I'm blaming him for this one.
Yeah, and even further with that jungle gap with an early dragon being taken.
Yeah, and Adolma's just doing a good job of seeing where this Shen is going. Walking in, knowing what camps are down and what aren't. Just looking for Shen, trying to find fights.
Just misses his Q there, which might have been the kill, but he's putting the pressure on the Kennen now. Going back to this mid lane matchup, one of the game breakers that has come up a few times is just that Galio passive with the big smash. So it doesn't even matter that Garen runs in and silences him, he'll still trade back with pretty comparable damage, and then once the silence falls off and Garen is trying to retreat, he throws the Q out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good trading pattern for the Galio, like we said already, but Blueprint is giving the push priority to Silky Bandit, just playing it super respectfully, and this allows Garen just to roam up, and they take Scuttle Crab out from under Zable's nose, and that's going to keep the Shen down even further behind.
Oh, you see a gank bot lane. Nice flash.
Oh, good ultimate from Fast Super Dude too, rooting up pretty much everyone. Kanabi was snared up, but Fast Super Dude able to save his support.
That was really well played by the Infernal bot lane. That was a lot of people die in that situation.
Yeah, and that's the Skinnergy right there. Both Infernal skins coming out big for him. And
going back to what we were talking about. Oh no. I think at a certain point, like, it makes sense why the Galio is giving respect how big the Hecarim is, but you are on Galio, as we see a nice trade under turret. You got to take advantage of your ult. So if that means you got to get a little risky and shove out lane and try to start roaming, the hemorrhaging of pressure that's happening is giving the lead that Scuttle already had just even further room to grow.
Yeah, and something we didn't touch on with that Infernal plan, or the Scuttle gank in the bot lane, was, oh, never mind. Kazuto taking out Endo, showing that he's the 11th best top laner in the league.
Moving up on the ranking.
Moving up. And we're getting a fight in the mid lane. Ignite going down on the Blueprint. Silky Bandit getting him low, but the shield is there. Alistar is here as well. Shen as well. That is a taunted up Garen, and that is going to be Zabel killing Silky Bandit, finally hitting level 6.
Really nice job. Yeah, and this should open up some pressure for the Galio to be able to make some plays on the map. Right? He'll probably back after pushing this wave in. Yep. But now, like, with the additional AP that he's going to get from... I mean, it looks like he's going to rush Zhonya's. I mean, that in and of itself with the cooldown as well as the extra AP should give him a little more wave pressure and be able to roam.
Zabel, yeah, just scouting out what Zabel's doing. And Zabel's just going to leash Rift Herald for Adolma and Endo.
I like the attempt. That's the kind of greedy jungle play you kind of are forced to make when you're behind like this.
Yeah, Galio coming in onto Endo though. Zabel is here as well. That's a lot of damage being put down. Taunted. Hecarim ults in, but it's a little bit too late. Now he's gonna have to ghost away. Does get the Rift Herald for his trouble though. So that's one kill for some pressure and a Rift Herald. We'll have to see how they use it.
Yeah, it's certainly a win for Scuttle, but as Infernal, you got to feel a little good about how that went. as opposed to just giving up Scuttle for, or Rift Herald for nothing. Able to trade back.
Yeah, Garen just sitting in his back. I love that God King skin. The throne on the back is so nice.
Oh yeah.
They're just constantly trading in this mid lane.
I mean, despite the trades and despite the level 1, this is a much slower game than game 1.
Yeah, and it would have been super slow if they just danced instead of Fat Super Dude using his E like a dummy. Sorry, that was rude. Just wanted a dance party, man.
Warranted, rude, to say.
Good dodge from Fat Super Dude onto the Morgana Q. That was, if that hit, that was a dead Varus right there.
Oh yeah.
But they're summoning Rift Herald in the bot lane. They have Jinx with those auto attacks going to be able to speed up over time. And they're looking to get a couple plays off this. 3 going down. A lot of poke. And that is a good ult from Zine. The W into the R looking... Damn it. I mean, Fast Super Dude had heal. He didn't think that was going to kill. But we're going in. Kanabi looking for ZM right here. We have Kennen coming in super fast. Getting the ult onto 2. Knockup from Kanabi gets it. And that is... such a big fight for Infernal, and now Endo is in the middle of it, but he doesn't want to be here. He is definitely in the wrong hood, and he's gonna go down, getting one for his troubles, but that was a rough TP. And now Silky Bandit's in the mix, looking to get the kill onto Zabel. That is a clean kill right there. Hecarim's still here as well. Galio missing the knockup, but sacrificing himself for Kennen. He's gonna go down to the Garen. Never mind, Adolma picks it up, and that is, what was that, 3 for 3 in total?
Who knows, man? We're hitting the point in the game where it's just like one fight is blending into another.
Oh, and we're still going
right
in.
Now.
Kennen picking up with a nice ultimate from Fat Super Dude. Silky Bandit is still stunned up. One more ability from Kennen will get that stun. And there it is, but I don't know if they have enough damage to do this. Jinx and Morgana are here, and Silky's just gonna shrug off the damage.
Let's just keep it coming. Like, Dragon's up, let's keep fighting. Because we see that they're probably just going to do that. Scuttle, yeah, I don't anticipate Scuttle just giving this up.
Yeah, I mean, 5 members from Infernal are up. Galio went topside for some reason, but they're going in, they're engaging. Kanabi's just going to die, and Fast Super Dude is walking forward into a Garen. That's not where you want to go. Shen is here, good Jinx ult onto 2. Silky on the backside, going to pick up a double for himself right here. Looking forward, looking good. Zeem popping off. Going forward to get smited by Shen, but walks away.
Endo with the cleanup on the backside. 2 people trying to run away after getting hit by the Jinx ult, and he just instantly pops both represents of the Dragon. Really well done.
Yeah, that's my bad. I thought that was Silky on the cleanup, but you know, they put Garen mid and Silas top lane, so
we're still mixed up with it. Yeah.
Yeah, Scuttle's striking hard right there. 3k gold lead, but they're still fighting. Galio getting taunted up, going in on Endo. Endo's super low, but has that W to heal back up. Good flash taunt from Shen. They're going in. Kennen looking for more. They get one shutdown onto Endo. Kazuto going in, but doesn't want to take the tower on. Silky walking away.
Super close, though. I like the effort. I like what I'm seeing where neither team is willing to just, like, back off. Everyone's just throwing haymakers back and forth.
Dude, they
might
want
not
to
be correct, but fun.
They just want to get rec top 5 across all these games.
I think that's what it is. You nailed it.
But yeah, I mean, both teams, like you said, throwing haymakers, looking good. And they have so many go buttons on both sides that they can just do that. Like, everyone on the side of Infernal has some way of engaging. The Galio knockup, the Varus ultimate, the Alistar combo, the Shen dash, Kazuto with a flash R. Like, there's just so much go potential on both sides. It's so fun to watch. And I'm glad they're actually using it.
As we're seeing just then, with Endo going in on Kazuto and really getting the better of him, the most recent trades we've seen is that the Silas has now gotten past the Kennen in the 1v1. And so it's going to be really interesting who Infernal chooses to put into side lane pressure. Given that naturally you'd want the top laner to go there, but your top laner is your best team fighter. So do you send the Shen to a side lane, even though has been jungle and is now low on like gold and doesn't actually have items to contest in the side lane? The Galio makes sense, but then you're giving up another side wave of pressure. So there's some interesting macro decisions that Infernal has to make.
root onto Shen, but he's just able to dash away from it. Bearsoul comes out in response. I'm not sure that's what you want to use. That's a big team fight ultimate. It's down for free.
Yeah, I think that was a reflex, just seeing that there were people around and worried about Hecarim flying into the side when there isn't a vision of him.
Yeah, that's true. But as you're saying, Zabel could be a split pusher, but he really does need the Tiamat in order to combat it. Like, he has only armor items right now, so he can't really fight Endo in a 1v1. But late game, that Shen will be able to stop the split push from Endo.
But there's the inherent problem, right? Is yes, late game that can happen, but they're already on the back foot. Right? Like Endo is oh my gosh.
Yeah, Hecarim going in onto Kazuto. He's going in hard. The ultimate is out. Kazuto ulting both of them up. Gets a trade back though. Looking for another. Shen is here. Gets the taunt up, and this is such a turnaround. Kingslayer goes down though, healing Endo up. He gets the kill for himself, and now can get out. He might be able to. Zabel going in. He's ulting out. One more auto, and Zabel takes it out. A clean 2 for 1. Oh, Endo. It was almost super sick.
I like the effort. That was great.
Meanwhile, all that's happening. Silky Bandit in the bot lane, though, shoving in the turret, making Blueprint miss a cannon and a couple more minions.
But this is that same problem we're looking at, right? It's like, who is going to be the side laner for Infernal right now?
I think it's okay for Kennen to be in the side lane, right? And you always have that 2v1 with Zabel up on the map. So, like, even if Kennen can't handle Endo one-on-one, eventually it's never going to be a one-on-one, right? If you know where Adoma is and Endo tries to go in, that fight gets turned around every single time.
By the Shen, in particular.
Yeah, by the Shen ult.
So the Shen ult is a long cooldown, right? That's the one, like, kicker there, because, yeah, I agree. The Shen can immediately turn, as we just saw, but that's on, like, if we're looking for an exact, that's a 150-second cooldown. So there are windows for Endo to continue to bully. And so maybe that's just their plan, is to avoid, like, whenever
Hecarim, sorry, getting taunted up, Kanavi there as well. He ults over the wall, and, I mean, they might take this fight on the backside of things. Kennen going in, looking for Morgana Blaziner, and has the back shield up. But that is 2 big teamfight ultimates down. One on Scuttle, one for Infernal. Shen looking for a taunt over the wall, not going to go for it.
Yeah, that did give Infernal the Dragon Pit control, though. So ultimately a win there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Scuttlecrab are okay giving this one up. They have a push in the top lane. Teleport is up, though, for Endo. He might try for something. And then Alistar just going super low in the middle 5 players, going down instantly to that ultimate from Garen. But they're able to smite away the dragon. TP comes out. Adoma is running way far in front of his team, though. And I don't think they're going to follow up on this.
Yeah, it was an interesting Alistar move. Maybe it was just, like, accept the death to buy time, but...
Yeah, it looks like he used his ultimate just a little bit too late, after the damage is already done, and the Garen R is just true damage, so it doesn't matter how many resistances you get.
So, I mean, I guess the rationale there is to keep Scuttle off of Dragon Point as long as possible, or Soul Point rather.
Yeah, and again, it's just a trade of objectives, right? You give up a kill, you take a dragon. It's worth for both sides.
I'm gonna look at where people are going with that. You see the Kennen going back, and it does coincide with the Shen ult. So, as I was like trying to get to earlier, I think the plan, it looks like, is whenever Shen ult is up, Kennen's split pushing, and whenever Shen ult is down, Kennen's, and they're just gonna keep going back and forth with that to play around their biggest team fight tool being the Kennen ult.
That is true. And eventually Kennen will have that Zonius built, which will give him extra protection in that 2v1 or 1v1 or 2v2, whatever it is. A little bit of a lull right here. Around this time, last game, Infernal was ahead by 1.5k. Now they're down 3k, which I blame Fast Super Dude for that level 1.
repeatedly. Always.
So, relatively even game again, right? And it's going to come down to another big team fight, I think, in this mid game.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the seeds for that are being planted with this vision control that being traded back and forth.
Yeah.
Baron is the next objective on the table. Infernal, I mean, realistically, both teams can't really seriously begin to press onto that until a mid-turret drops. And so I think that's the domino to look for, is which team is going to try to get a fight and then turn that into mid-turret the fastest. Although I guess that can be broken if we just get...
Kanabi going in onto Jinx with the flash knockup. Has the exhaust down as well. But Jinx is able to flash away. Garen onto Kanabi doing so much work. He's going to be able to turn around ult, getting the kill right there. Kazuto is caught out by Endo and Blaziner, taking him down as well. Now on the backside of things, Jinx going low. But a good ultimate from Adolna to sway the fight. And now they're trying to go in. Fat Super doing as much damage as he can. Galio comes down, but not knocking up anyone. Jinx is here with Morgana. They're able to snare him up. Indo on the backside, picking up one, looking for a blueprint. Shenol comes down, but canceled by Adolma. And now Garen's going to run into the mix as well, picking up another. And that is a ace, a clean ace for Scuttle Crab. Taking up so many different skirmishes and coming up on top.
Yeah, that was primarily going back to the same debate that I guess coming back to is like what happens in the side lane. The Shen ult is up, so Kazuto started to pick a fight, likely thinking that he had support, but the problem being that there was already a fight happening on the other side of the map. Shen can't be in two places at once, which immediately gives over this pressure, given how important that shield is.
Yeah, and that fight started with Kanabi running at the Jinx, flash ulting and exhausting her. And then Jinx just flashed over this Wraith Pit wall, and Garen was standing in this bush. Like, he thought she was alone, but she wasn't. She had 4 members of her team, or 3 members of her team around her, and they were able to turn it around really well. And they stayed alive for so long, being able to kite back.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there was some degree of miscommunication there, because nobody can really close that gap without using ultimates, being the Shen or the Galio, right? And if that's the play you're making with the flash knock-up, you have to expect then for that to work, for those ults to come in immediately, or even like before it's even starting, right? Like if Shen's ulting before that flash in, and he pops down as soon as the Jinx is like hitting the ground, then yeah, that play looks a hell of a lot different.
Yeah,
so I'm wondering... Oh.
Sorry, Infernal right now are they're giving up mid pressure.
Yep.
2 turrets right here, and they're just standing in this mid lane. Like, they were trying to help out their Galio, but I don't know what they're doing. They're just giving up pressure. Oh, they're grouping around Dragon. Okay.
Yeah, but there was such a spawn point, and they have Baron. You can't. Like, if they didn't have Baron, then sure, you can make an argument for this trade, but they're going to shove down everything for this.
Yeah, and if you have a Silas stop all the backs right here, Jinx can just end the game. Endo just needs to stop backs right here, and this is game over.
Jinx.
Yeah, Scuttle Crab looking to the end. Yeah, they got 2 of them.
Back.
The minions are gone, though, so they're not going to be able to do this. Galio doing a good job calling people up, and they're able to dissuade it. Okay, good on Infernal for cutting off that mini wave, and Galio for being able to clear it out. But that was so risky right there.
I mean, I don't even know if risky is the right word, given that they pretty convincingly lose that trade, right? That's 2 turrets and an inhibitor for a dragon that's not even soul. I just think that's a miscalculation and not factoring in the Baron's effect.
Yeah, and Kazuto getting ulted up by Morgana. Blazing Nerd has the exhaust on him. No follow-up, though. Galio coming down from Endo. It's like, wait, that's the wrong team. But yeah, Scuttle looking big with this Baron buff. Jinx online has 2 items right now with that Kershi Shard. Just able to take out these turrets. Root onto Kanabi, and the rest of his team isn't there. Where is Infernal right now? They have to defend their base. They're just giving it up.
Yeah, and that's there have been a number of times where it just seems like Blueprint is not in the right spot to be able to ult in, right? It's not a true global.
Yeah, and honestly, nobody was there. They had a support defending a turret while the rest of the team was sitting in base trying to clear supers.
A split call, most likely. I mean, at that point, if the supers are knocking on the base, you either gotta accept that like one of those turrets is gonna go down, and you can test the inhibitor, or you just give the inhibitor up and hold the base and keep that base turret healthy. Instead, they just did neither, right? So like, what did they actually gain there?
Nothing. They gained 2 waves of super minions now that they're going to be able to farm up and put onto their carries. And
they're scaling.
Yeah, they got the dragon. The Baron's off the table, so they have at least 6 minutes before they have to really fight for anything. Who knows? It could be a giant scaling call. But you know the worst part about having globals is when you're stuck in base and not able to use them.
Yep. I mean, particularly for the Shen, there's some argument for the Galio if they can get a fight, like, maybe in the choke point where the turrets used to be, in that, like, you can actually get some knockups going, but as we see again, he's the one clearing the waves in the top lane. You can't get all the way to bot right now, and they have to fight over this last inhibitor.
Yeah, Zeem is a man on a mission right now. 1-1-11 on Jinx, all the ones in his kit, and he's got 3 crit items completed already. So much attack speed.
Yeah, I really want to see somebody on Infernal, Kanabi, maybe Kazuto, but like, just push it. Right, layer those ults down, put the Shen ult on the Alistar, put the Galio ult on the Alistar once he gets in there, and just try to force an issue right here. Because right now they're just hemorrhaging their base slowly. Like, you gotta force something.
Yeah, and Kanabi's like slowly stepping forward to look for something, but he's getting poked out so hard. He's going in, getting the flash 3-man ultimate. That is such a wombo! Kennen and Galio on top as well. The fear comes down from the Hecarim, but it's not enough. And now Zeem on the backside of things with Silky Bandit trying to get onto the Shen, able to pick him up, but they lose Endo on the top side. And that is a good 3 for 2. 3 for 1 in favor of Infernal. But their base is in shambles right now. They have to clear out super minions, and Zeem is still here looking for this turret.
That's the best they can hope for, though, right? Like, it's that exact thing. They had to force, they got the force down, and they were able to actually take a favorable kill trade there. They might lose some parts of their base or take some damage, but at this point, they can't be picky about what happens after. They just have to get some little amount of win.
Yeah, and honestly, that is so good for Infernal. You pick up 4 shutdowns. You pull off your wombo combo. You know your team actually works like you planned it out to. You just have to execute from now on. The downside is, you're down to inhibitors. 2 out of your 3 turrets are on 100 health, and you lose 1 team fight, and the game's over.
Yeah, the small positive is that a lot of their ults are already almost up. The Galio being the furthest away, but it's over halfway done. Shen never even ulted that fight, so there is that option. Or not option, but they still have that safeguard here, particularly around the dragon that's spawning if they're feeling brave enough to contest it, but I don't know if they actually can. I think they're going to contest it.
Yeah, they don't have Kennen here right now, but he does have teleport. This is down to 2,000, and Blazener's just going to exhaust, hit the Q, but they're going in further. Endo is going in. The Zonias is out. Fear onto the backline from Adolma. He's going in super hard, and we have a split fight again. A Kennen ultimate into 2 members, but Zeem is just untouched on this backside, putting out so much damage. Zeem going in, doing so much work. Double kill for him. Looking for a third. Zabel, last member alive from Infernal. This is going to be the game right here, folks. Ace for Scuttle Crab, losing no members of their team, and they're just going to walk it into the base and close this one out, leaving no structure left for Infernal.
Yeah, some pretty classic indecision there, right? Like, you either contest or you don't. Instead, they just kind of danced around the blue buff and put themselves in a position to be caught. But really nice job by Scuttle to snowball that early Hecarim. That seems like the story of this game is Hecarim got ahead and stayed very far ahead. Like, that lead continued to grow.
Yeah, and I mean, both games, the Hecarim did so much work in these team fights, being able to ult in, split up the team, getting that fear across so many members, but I mean, you got to hand it to Silky Bandit too. He took that mid lane and he ran with it. He had so much pressure onto Blueprint. I don't think the wave for Blueprint was ever pushed towards Scuttle's side. It was just always straight up against the turret. Silky did so well that game.
Yeah, that's like the quietest 9-1-4 game I've seen. 'Cause, like, I'm shocked that he had that many kills. It makes sense in hindsight, given how many times that the Alistar would be ulted and he would just ult him. But I mean, you touched on it right there. It was the laning phase and the pressure that he got on the Galio every single time.
Yeah, and honestly, the most damage in the game was done by Endo. Actually, Kennen, but second most was done by Endo, which I was not expecting on the side of Scuttle. That's kind of crazy to me.
I mean, it kind of makes sense given how much action they were going back and forth on each other, right? Like, it's the two people that kept fighting, and there were other people that they were drawing into those fights every time that they were fighting.
That is fair. But, it comes to the time of night where we need to do interviews, getting one person from each team for a tie. So, who would you like to talk to from both teams?
That's a lot of pressure.
Take your time. Don't have to answer all at once. Just going to be setting up the caster screens.
I don't know who. I feel like you have a slightly greater insight. Who do you think is the brains behind both drafts? Because that's really what I want to touch on, particularly with the Scuttle side. Is like, who's the person that's making the call there for the Garen mid?
I think.
If it's,
I have no idea. Like, there's so many voices on Scuttlecraft that could have made that call. Either Big Brain, like, planned it out. That would have been Adoma. But in the moment, let's get Garen! Could be literally anyone. I'd be down to grab Adoma and Zabel, though. I think they'd be fun to talk to.
grab those junglers.
Yeah. Get the jungle matchup coming up. Just gonna be 1 second before they come up, everyone. All right. It looks like we have Zabel coming up, and then we'll see if Adoma wants to join us. Yep, all right, we got them both.
Nice.
Gonna just grab them real quick. I forgot to press that button. That's my bad.
Oh hey.
Oh, hey. We got both of you in here?
Hello.
Oh, what's up? It's a party now.
Yo.
Guys, that was a sick 1-1. That was so fun to watch.
It was fun to play.
Yeah, we're gonna come at you first, Abel. Tell us about that prep for game one. What were you doing going into that matchup?
So we knew we wanted to ban the Caitlyn and the Taric because that's something they've seen a lot of success on. And obviously the Fiddlesticks is fucking horrifying. So that was our thought on the first 3 bans going into the draft. And then we kind of pseudo 4th banned with Hecarim, taking it away. I don't play it a super whole lot, but I mean, he's a serviceable enough. He's like the simple stuff in the game. So even if I'm not like super good at him, I can still hit his buttons and do what I have to do. So that was our thought process going into that. And then we felt like mid was going to be pretty abusable if we burned the flash early, and then it turns out it was. So kind of just played the game from there, and yeah. Knew we had a pretty hard scaling advantage too. So
Yeah. Were you scared at all of Endo in that game after, the Renekton got a couple of early kills onto their eyes?
Joe was a little bit tilted. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happens in that matchup. I mean, Endo played it well, got some early kills. Wasn't super worried because of the champion and the way Renekton conducts himself in the game versus our team comp. Felt like like he wasn't going to be a non-factor basically with the Bard. The fact that we had exhaust and so much like CC to get on him when he tried to dive in. Kind of the same with the Shyvana. So we just felt that we had to peel back, exhaust whoever Shyvana or Renekton, whoever came in, kill them with the double 80 carry. We could kind of burn them down and then chase people down with Heck Arm and Rise if we need to. So it felt like pretty cut and dry front to back for us. A little bit scary with the Xerath and Shyvana poke, but we weathered the storm and are able to come out with the W.
All right, sounds good. And Adolma, you want to talk about a little bit about your prep into that game?
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, we're kind of taking a break from prepping a bit. But yeah. I mean, we had some plans coming in. You know, like we were really bummed about some of the bands coming out from Infernal, like the Taric ban especially was definitely a bummer for us. We're looking to play that. Yeah, I mean, I'd been playing Shyvana in solo queue a lot because it turns out that it feels pretty similar to Fiddlesticks. Just the spikes are at different times. But yeah, I mean, just kind of we're planning to play some good old fashioned Scuttle League of Legends, see what happened. But try some new picks, see just try some of that stuff. But
yeah, that game one during draft, I mentioned that I'd watched one of your games previously to starting up, and you guys had 4 out of the 5 picks that you played in the first game. So I definitely thought you were going to pick a Nautilus mid.
Oh yeah, really yeah. No, that was the game that we were warming up with and trying some funky stuff, see if we get it to work. But yeah, clearly did not pick the Nautilus mid. Ended up being a mistake. So here we are.
All right, now that we got both of you together, though, what was it like playing against each other?
It felt competitive. It felt like they have strong points in the map that are a little bit different than ours, so the team comps like interact in a very interesting and unique way, and the team fights kind of have some different priorities, so it makes the game interesting and fun to play from a team fight perspective, and probably fun from a viewer perspective as well. Definitely a tough opponent, and we're glad we got to play him today.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun, especially in the jungle matchup, because there was kind of the weird curveball at the beginning of game one where it was definitely a test of like where you should go to actually like be successful. Like cookie cutter jungle paths are easy, but it gets more difficult when you got to kind of figure out what the other person's trying to do. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a lot of fun playing against Infernal. This is one of the matchups we've been looking forward to all season. I'm sure we'll get to play them again at some point in the playoffs, and I look forward to that. So
yeah, I definitely hope so. Crack, feel free to jump in anytime if you have any questions.
My question is just like, what about that game 2 and the Varus, and how soon is he getting kicked off your team for?
Varus is the second worst AD carry in the game right now, so we kind of like no BM to Fat Super Dude. That is a terrible AD carry pick. So we felt really bad putting it on that one, but it's the only Infernal AD carry.
Let me clarify. This is entirely shading him of like throwing that first ability in game 2.
Yeah, Fat Super Dude, you suck. That was BM,
Yeah.
man.
That was BM as fuck. What are you doing?
We're not invited came first.
No.
Confirmed it looking back.
Oh no. Okay, well now
you gotta have talking to him.
We were all
Infernal's the bad guys all along.
Yeah. Fucking Grant, the nicest guy on our team, was the bad guy all along. That's hilarious.
You guys were typing Y in chat, and we were like, well, we know why.
That's so funny. Holy shit, I didn't realize that. But yeah, I mean, we were obviously having fun. Still, obviously, taking the game seriously and competing, and props to Scuttle for playing super well. But, kind of wanted to have a fun game. The seeding actually was already determined after the results of Mountain today. So it was irrelevant whether or not we won that game for seeding purposes because their win time was too fast. But yeah, it was a fun competitive game. We thought we had a chance in game 2, but we got wrecked in a few team fights and couldn't bring it back together. But it definitely felt like a fun competitive game, except for like early on for me in the jungle when I got cucked with my fucking path in because I start with a taunt.
Yeah, that was rough.
Did
you level 2 gank bot in
I did.
game 2? Okay.
I did because I was misfed false information that the AD carry didn't have flash, and I was like, oh, if he doesn't have flash, just walk in him and exhaust him, and it's fucking GG. Flashes away immediately. I'm like, you son of a bitch. So I was like, you wasted so much of my time. So I was just fucked from that point, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it is what it is. Fun game and competitive series. Love playing against you guys. Great competitors and always friendly memers. So definitely appreciated.
Hell yeah.
And with this matchup, I mean, is Hecarim that strong of a champion right now, or is it just super good in Rec League?
Yes.
Why not
both.
both? Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
And I have one last question for you guys. We heard a lot of memeing after the Wrecked After Dark episode where we ranked all the teams, and Scuttlecrab was ranked under Infernal, and it's fitting that you guys go 1-1 so we don't know who the stronger team is. So what do you think? Is Infernal stronger or is Scuttle stronger?
Oh man, do I have to answer this?
Yeah.
You're making us answer it? Okay. I mean, obviously I'm going to say my own team's stronger. Like, we have implicit bias, so I'll just go ahead and say that. I'm sure Adoma feels the same way.
Well, I'm going to say that my team's stronger. Then.
Yeah, he
Uh-huh.
feels that way about his team too. Yeah,
What are you going to do about that?
Nothing. We got a 1-1 again. All right. Well, thank you both for joining us. Congratulations on the 1-1. That was a really fun and exciting series to cast. And I'm glad we actually saved that one for the last game because it was sick.
Hell yeah. Thanks for the cast, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you watch it. But once again, thank you everybody in Twitch chat. We love and appreciate all of you guys. Everybody in the rec community, you are the best. Thank you, Crack Variety, for casting with me tonight. It was super fun. Glad to have you here. Sorry about your season.
You know what, man? We had fun. That's
matter.
the stamp put on that one.
Hell yeah. And we hope to have you on the casting guest again pretty soon. So we'll see you all next week, Thursday, for Wrecked After Dark. It's going to be a banger. We're going to be talking about playoffs, doing some award giving out some awards for the regular season, and it should be a good show. So tune in for that. And for everybody else watching, stay safe, and we'll see you later. Good night.